So, well, okay, the check's cleared, right? Good, good, good. The Xbox One is a fantastic piece of hardware.
It really is a
Do it for
marvel
money.
of technology. It puts any moderately priced gaming PC in its place. God, I'm a whore.
It's quite the marvel of multimedia home entertainment.
Coming up on Linux GameCast Weekly, we're in the Steam streaming beta. Alienware loses its damn mind. AMD improves the open source drivers. 31 games see the light and natural selection goes GPL? ? Then we throw the chairs at not the robots. All this, plus your hate mail. Let's go. And welcome back to another Linux GameCast Weekly, the show that covers the latest Linux gaming news, reviews, how-tos, and most importantly, whatever the hell else we come up with. I'm Vince Stone, there's Massus Fang, there's Mr. Marteus, and there's you, Shatrealm Dynamic, and together we form a bit of a cocaine Voltron. This week, tons of things that are going on. Alienware has pretty much lost its damn mind. Somebody got the golden ticket. Natural selection source code has kind of been released? ? Big one on that, and we're going to throw some chairs at a game we've kind of been avoiding. But before we get started, as always, what is going on this week in your distorted worlds, gentlemen? J-Man.
I got into the home streaming beta, so I gave that a bit of a shot. It works pretty well, but essentially it's, well, you know what? I'll get into that a little bit. What else?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Steambox needed some new RAM. That was fun. And that was my exciting fucking week.
Brilliant. P-Man. What's
Yeah.
Same.
Well, I spent most of my week, well, the latter part of the week in Wineland because Blizzard just opened a beta at the Hearthstone. And yeah, ever since Thursday, that's pretty much all I've played consistently.
Isn't that like a card trading game?
It is a card trading game, and it's freaking
Pedro.
amazing.
Is it time to duel? No, it's time to whore ourselves out.
Brilliant.
Oh wait, no, Ven.
Yeah,
No,
it's-
Ven needs to go on
It's
about
a
what he did
Warcraft.
this week.
All right,
Card
fine,
game.
Nothing big. Started the beginnings of moving our live stream over to Scale Engine, which I think people will dig that outside of Twitch because it will be available in HTML5 and also streamable on your Android devices without having to deal with Flash. So, Flash Gordon, baby. So that's
He's a
that.
miracle.
Whoring.
Alright, yeah, you can find us at Shoutrealm, statically linked linuxgamecast.com/discussions-2. You can also find us on our podcast page at linuxgamecast.com. There's a bunch of links there you can click. We also have our Facebuds page run by Mexicans and our YouTube page that is still miraculously up even after we've been being a little bit naughty. But
a bit.
if you want some more raunchy goodness, you can check out reddit.com/r/linux_gaming for more Linux gaming tips, tricks, reviews, and other crap that is posted there. In fact, you could post stuff there. Isn't that a shock?
Brilliant.
But you know what? You like the show? You want to maybe support it? You can be a producer if you want. Give us a recurring donation of $3.50 or $10 a month, and we will put you in a producer's credit. Or if you just want to toss us some one-time wet stinky money, you can join the glorious Linux PC gaming master race. And for $10 a month, you get in our credits, and you get to go on our little wall of shame there. But if you have no money, that's fine. You're just not welcome here. I'm kidding. Just tell your friend, tell a cat, scream it at the local homeless man, throw wine bottles at children, and tell them to check out linuxgamecast.com.
Now, children, gather round. We got a bit of education I would like to instill upon thee.
What you got
Google
for us this week,
Kool-Aid,
Uncle
Google
Van?
Kool-Aid.
Oh yeah, drinking the Kool-Aid. That's another thing I did. I finally put my Nexus 10 into KitKat mode, and something I noticed with the new Chrome was, hey, would you like to save bandwidth, Vin? And I was like, yes, Master Googs, save me some bandwidth. And he was like, let's just compress the pages. So I went round and round and round with, because I always use Adblock, not to block ads on apps on websites, including my own, because that's just unnecessary on a mobile experience, in my opinion. Would not work with Chrome, and it took probably a day of thinking it. I was like, wait a minute. I thought it was CyanogenMod 11 nightly that was cocking it up, but no. What you got to do is go back into Chrome Advanced and disable bandwidth management, because it's pre-compressing all of the pages before they get to you, which completely ignores your host allow. And
Because it's going through Adblock or Google servers, as
right.
opposed
So
to
that's
the
our
Google
little
servers.
pro tip, not necessarily Linux gaming related, but Linux related nonetheless. So, J-Man,
Speaking of tangentially related things, do you smell that?
no, I've got another waft of it, because it's transwarping and beaming into different places from one box to another. It's almost like we can't stop it now.
I know it's quantum
unstoppable.
multiplexed across multiple computers. It's on Steam.
Linux
Update
of the week. So this is a thing.
This
I
is
got
a thing.
this in my inbox
Mm.
on Friday.
Neat.
Welcome to the InHome Streaming beta. So today I checked it out. I had to hijack roommate's computer because he has the only Windows box in the apartment. And you know what? It works pretty well. It's essentially hardware accelerated VNC. One thing to note is that the box you're streaming from basically has to be a dedicated stream source, because if someone else is doing stuff on there, it tends to screw things up. I actually accidentally dropped to my roommate's desktop and was able to browse around using Internet Explorer on Linux just for fun.
P-Man, you got to
times.
play with it.
Yeah, I also played with it for a little bit. I managed to get Dragon Age Origins streaming from my 9-year-old desktop PC.
Mine was Fallout Vegas,
7
New Vegas.
Yeah, I got Fallout 3. It started, but as soon as you get into the game proper, the screen was just black and you couldn't see anything.
That's racist.
And
Yeah.
there is an FAQ in the streaming page beta thing. I can't English tonight. But
can't
yeah, some
English.
games will have a black screen and you won't be able to play them at all.
Well,
Which is
also,
unfortunate.
screen grabbing does not work under Linux for this yet, so I couldn't get any screenshots,
Yeah.
unfortunately. I just get blackness. Darkness imprisoning me. All that I see. All that I feel. But yeah, speaking of spontaneous musical numbers, someone got a golden ticket.
The golden
Ooh.
ticket. No, this is from all the dub-in guys, man. Valve's like, do you know who's awesome? You're awesome. And I'm sitting at my house going, you guys could use some more developers. I'm just saying. I got some free time.
Anyone need a packager?
And why we're saying this is because Valve basically said, hey, if you're a Debian developer, guess what? You get all the things, period. You get your little special code where users have access to the entire Steam library.
For Valve.
Valve. Just Valve games.
But still, I would-
Pretty good deal.
yeah,
It is.
upcoming things, and, well, yeah, sort of want.
Half-Life 3 confirmed.
Yeah, right?
Half-Life 3 early access.
So that's a brilliant thing. But kicking over to this, P-Man, I thought this was a good idea. Well, maybe something that could be improved in the future.
Yeah, it could definitely be improved. This is the first signs of a refund system on the Steam client, and it comes from the Steam forums. Again, you can find all the links to everything we talk about in the show notes. And Donham here says, in what seems like another step in the right direction by Valve, it seems they have very recently implemented what seems to be a user-controlled refund mechanism. Yeah, that's nice, but then he goes into detail saying that it only works for things you pre-ordered directly from the Steam store. let's say you pre-ordered Battlefield 4. If it wasn't out yet, you could ask for a refund. But that's it. Pre-orders. Nothing else.
Looking at this is definitely being a step in what I like to call the right mothering direction.
Yeah.
Especially with Linux. I've always said, unless you're running SteamOS and, they bless a box and whatnot and say it's going to run on that, with so many variations, sometimes we get a game and it's just not playable. And I would like to say, give me an hour window of going, no. Give me my money back.
Maybe not an hour.
Well, the reason I say an hour is I'm thinking download times for people in Portugal on shit bandwidth.
24 hours. Give people 24 hours to
get a refund. An hour from when you first launched the game, how about? I don't know.
Or that. Yeah.
So.
But yeah, currently it only works for pre-orders. It's a start. It's a step in the right direction. But personally, in my whole life, I only pre-ordered one game. Skyrim.
So that's brilliant. Like everything else, man, we're going to throw that business in our show notes. But, Alienware, the hell?
Well Alienware has decided that they don't want to make any money off this. Steambox nonsense.
Pretty much. It was like, right there in the notes. It's like, Alienware Steambox discontinued in 3, 2, and what are we talking about? Well, here's their bright idea. We're going to make a Steambox, but it's not going to be upgradable. Like,
you're just going to have to buy a new
going
one.
to solder shit in, So, And every year what you can do to upgrade is just buy a new one, right? Doesn't that sound like a...
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds like an amazing idea. I cannot see a hole in this plan at all.
No, they have clearly thought their clever plan all the way through. Flawless execution.
And one of their marketing guys actually came out and say that if you buy a new
you just didn't walk out, lick a window, and walk back in?
If you buy a new Alienware Steam machine every year, you won't need to repurchase all your games. That's the wonderful thing about Steam.
As soon as I read that, I'll drop
like,
$100 on a or like several $100s on a console every single year.
Yeah,
math.
It hurts, but why 420? But it's 140.
420. Well, no, it's 140, and it's now available
140.
for the Linux from the Steams, and it's
like
cheap.
A Damatory simulator.
It looks like
colorful.
Epilepsy Simulator 2014.
Hypnotoad just randomly shows up. So what the is this mothering thing, P-Man?
It's an action platformer, a colorful action platformer from the looks of it, and it's surprisingly well placed in the Metacritics because it gets 80 out of 100 for a $5 game. That's
somebody's check cashed.
That's saying a bit. I honestly haven't had the chance to try it out yet, but
it looks trippy as hell. I'll give it that.
Yeah,
I mean,
it looks trippy as hell, and people.
It looks like
to
something you should take some salvia to experience.
I guess, or if you have, grandparents that are in the home and you want to remind them of their earlier gaming experiences on their Ataris, this safe bet. They feel right at home. Just tape over all the other extra buttons. Just leave the red A button or whatnot. So they'll be able to play at it.
Oh, and I forgot. It also won the Independent Games Festival. I forgot about that one.
Right. So that's definitely a thing. But since we're talking about streaming.
Yeah, I got stuck with all the streaming news this week. So, if you have a Raspberry Pi and you don't feel like dropping some more money on a Steam machine, you can use Limelight to stream games from your PC to your Ras Pi. And now there's this one line in the article that just made me crack up. Game streaming is so hot right now. I mean, seriously. You can stream a video game over the internet to your PC. Oh my god.
Well, that's something
Welcome
I
back to
definitely want
2007.
to. Like, my first thought, I was like, can we stream games to each other? I mean, not, easily, but by logging into the same account on, different geolocations and trying to activate that.
Yeah, you probably could, but the lag would be unbearable.
For you.
You
So,
know,
Jaden.
TCP over carrier pigeon.
What's that?
TCP over carrier pigeon. That's how you get around that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's a thing, though. So I don't know if the Pi really has enough oomph for
the
1080p.
Pi GPU is actually pretty good. It could probably handle something like this.
Yeah, and if the NVIDIA Shield can do it, probably a Pi can as well.
Yeah, that Broadcom GPU is actually pretty stupid powerful. For like a $25 computer, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. And what was that again? What was it called?
Limelight.
Limelight.
You can check that out in the show notes. It's from crave.cnet.co.uk
So,
if you're interested. But you know what? Speaking of Limelight,
in green
We have
decaying
some
horses.
green light, which isn't dead yet. If you watched our show last week, we know what we're on about, because Valve is looking to discontinue Greenlight, but not before they send us another batch of games. And this time, 50 new games, 47 new games and 3 pieces of software were greenlit, but for the Linuxes, we only get 31 games, which, again, considering the crap we've been getting with the past Greenlight batches, this one's actually pretty good. We got 2 MMO first-person shooters, Storm United and Voice of Pripyat. Similar to Voice of Pripyat, we have Insula, which both games have that Stalker-type feel to it. It's like first-person RPG-type thing. And we also get an MMORPG, which is Kara Blade Returns. And we get a Final Fantasy and a Dead Space 3 clone. Edge of Eternity and Frozen State, respectively. So, yeah, this is actually looking pretty good.
And in all
From
fairness, I mean, you
where
think
I'm
31 games 2 years ago, that was more than was released the entire year commercially.
Yep.
yeah,
So, not hating on
we've
that.
come a long way, sister.
Yeah, baby. And
I think that wraps up our Steam
that
Linux
is the
update
end of it.
of the week.
What do we got
So
next?
coming up next, AMD open source improvements, whininess, and anime. Coming up is news for your face organ.
It's that time of the week where we cover the news. And much like many other weeks here at Linux GameCast, we start with AMD-related news. This time it's not about the Catalyst driver, but it's actually about the open source driver for the R9 270, aka the Radeon SI.
You mean something that works.
Which... What?
Continue.
Yeah. According
Peter says
to Camille Peral from, I think he works for Fedora right now, and he's trying the R9 270 on Fedora Rawhide using only the open source drivers. Now, he made a blog post regarding this very subject on Fedora 20, and his experience was not very good. Now, for Fedora Rawhide, he did say that the performance increased quite a bit, but then again, he's using the Phoronix test suite, so...
No, that just means that it runs very good with 10 to 12-year-old games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Open Arena. It curb stomps the fuck out of Open Arena.
Yep. Now,
Battle was not more like battle a dick.
Like
I
a
did
battle
have
of kick-ass.
a whole paragraph in the notes about Radeon SI not supporting OpenGL 3.3 on the Mesa Devel line yet, but apparently it now does. There was news recently that they have had an OpenGL 3.3 support for Radeon SI graphics cards, so Radeon SI and R600 are pretty much toe-to-toe, even though R600 still has a bit better performance than Radeon SI. And I think, Ven, you wanna indulge in that non-stallman side of things?
Well, this is the brilliant thing. Wine 1.7.11 has been released as of January 17th. What's new in this release, you ask? Unsubscribe support. In the rich edit control, more D3D command stream prep. Oh, finally that's in there, whatever the hell that is. Optional start menu in desktop mode, which I guess
So
is
it's already leaped ahead Windows 8.1.
basically.
Heyo!
Whoa. Blowing Metro out of the various bug fixes. So, yeah, that's definitely a thing. With your whininess, maybe you might want to check out the latest version of Lutris, but we'll be talking about that a bit later. So
The hate mail
stay
section.
tuned.
Yeah, so
Sarah,
if you
oops.
like anime and you like things going pew pew pew, then have we got an IndieGoGo for you.
Wait, what's anime? I've never heard of it.
Apparently it's this thing where if you mix mayonnaise, hot sauce, and my vomit, and then you drink it, that's what comes out of your ass.
Anime.
Yeah. No, it's Japan animation.
Oh, is it supposed to move? Because this is a lot of...
Well, yeah, no. There's a lot of still portraits here, and the voice acting isn't that great. But they do have a Linux demo.
It's like they
so
broke
that's
the
good
Ken
for them.
Burns filter.
It's supposed to be an RPG sort of thing. I
Yeah.
played the demo for like the I didn't play the test campaign. I just did the dick around mode. The combat system's interesting. You kind of just pick you basically just pick how you want to fight, whether you want to dodge or just use point defense or stuff like that. At least that's about the 15 minutes of playthrough I got to.
So
I
it's
mean,
Final Fantasy.
it's kind of not really Final Fantasy.
Fantasy visual novel.
Not really Final Fantasy visual novel. Honestly, I didn't get that far in the game. It didn't really appeal to me. You can check out the gameplay trailer. It looks like a bunch of shit going pew 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 pew
Right.
pew pew. And there's no real apparent way to control things.
Reasonable
But like I
stretch
said,
goal.
they're only asking for $4,500.
So do we get to sleep with our sisters? Let's see.
Do they? Do we get to sleep with their sisters?
1,000 basic. Wait.
Oh no, you get to be a voice.
Oh, I can do work for them.
You pay $1,000 and you get to. do
Maybe you
voice
guys have
acting.
never
Okay.
worked with voice. Oh, right. And the type of person who's going to spend $1,000. I'm going to be in this game.
I'm gonna be in this game. You're gonna give me the main character role.
I'm almost tempted to give him $1,000 just to let you go at it.
Oh no, we gotta raise
What type
shield.
of
But,
overtly
check-
racist
check-
character
check-
you can come up with?
That's not even a racist character. That's just me doing a stupid voice. But anyways, check out their demo. They're asking for a reasonable amount of money. They got about a month left to go. So if it's your bag, check that shit out.
Pew, pew, pew.
But
Yep.
apparently
And
Ben doesn't know
speaking
what
of games
Super
on a
Meat Boy
budget.
is. Oh.
Yeah.
Speaking of games on a budget, we do have You Still Won't Make It, which Ven dubbed the Super Meat Boy on a budget.
Yeah, look at
And
the system
I'm
requirements,
forced to agree
Pedro.
with
You can
Jordan.
play this.
This is more like I want to be the guy. Except
Yeah,
I want to be the
it-
guy is free. So I don't.
Yep.
So I guess if you want more levels in that style, you can check that out. What
So-
are they asking for? $5?
$5. I mean, what's the goal here?
€3?
You get from point A to point B without getting the deads?
Pretty much.
That's all
Pretty
I'm seeing
much,
here.
yeah.
Right. So,
Platforming. It's basic platforming.
But it's
Right.
like unfair, hard platforming.
Okay, that's a completely new genre that has never been touched upon in the gaming world. It's new to see ground like that being broken.
I know,
So-
right?
Yeah.
Well, at least the genre is evolving. But speaking of natural selection,
Ah, right. Nope selection. Source code has been released, kind of.
sort of,
Maybe. Yeah, a lot of conflicting things on this. Like, originally, if you were reading in Linux _Reddit subreddit, you would see like one of the first small problems they had was you couldn't clone the Git because it would be against the copyright. Problem one. I think that might have been resolved, but just reading through that, it's just so dodgy with what you can do, can't do. It's like you can look at it, but don't use it or modify it.
CC no touch.
Yeah, pretty much.
Good.
So,
Good move.
that's the thing. I mean, if you remember, the original Natural Selection was a Half-Life mod, so it works with a Half-Life SDK. Doesn't currently build right now onto Linux, but they're working on that. They think things will get a bit more momentum once they get that little...
Because Natural Selection just has an awesome track record on working for Linux.
Have you tried Natural
Yeah.
Selection 2 on Linux? It's brilliant. I mean...
I know. You know what? It's better than Portal 2 on Linux. That's been out for months.
You know, I would actually argue that point with you because I don't know how bad Portal 2 is going to be.
Well, you know what? Valve's been doing a pretty good job with the Source Engine
Right.
so far. So
Definitely good
Yeah.
on that. J-Man, I got a launch here. I think it needs throwing, sir.
But no, it needs to get consumed by, well, not the robots.
Because it's furniture.
Coming up next. We would be throwing chairs at not the robots, but it seems that this game actually tries to eat them. So we're just going to keep them right here next to us. This is our review of Not the Robots by 2D Array. It is a Unity game, shock and awe. You can pick it up for $9.99 wet stinky cashes or €8.99 euros because Pedro is going to complain about some regional pricing nonsense. And the goal of the game is to eat furniture and not get shot by various lasers and guns and all sorts of other nasty things. So, I guess there is that whole wacky ass review system that we use based on lawn chairs, which Ben's gonna show you guys right now. Chair explanation. 1 chair means that it's absolute shite. 2 chairs means that it's meh. 3 chairs means that it's pretty good, and 4 chairs means that it is so good it will reach inside your urethra and pull out happy juice. We also have our categories of doom mixed with the working, shiny sounds, controls, and fun mixed with the working. How does it work? How does it run? Shiny and sounds is how it tantalizes your ear and eye pussies. Controls is self-explanatory, and fun is our only subjective category, and also, well, self-explanatory. So, why don't we kick off this incredibly, let's just find out how long it's going to be. Then, not the robots, make with the working.
Not the robots. This is going to be the first time we're going to feed it more than 1 or 2 chairs. On our base test system, our Ubuntu 32-bit LTS 1204-770 powered boxing runs with no issues. I tested it out on my little APU system. It ran its Unity. That's what it does. A little herky jerk, but, nothing that you wouldn't normally expect from a Unity game. So, begrudgingly, 4 chairs.
4 chairs. Well, on the Fedora 20 powered 670 superclocked system I have by my foot right here, it ran perfectly fine out of the box. So I guess I have to give it 4 chairs on that.
And on the calculator, using an AMD 5650 HD powered by 2 SSDs and an Intel i3 370M using Corora 20 now, 32-bit. No problems whatsoever. 4 chairs.
Wow, that's shock and awe. Unity game works on Linux.
Hey,
Never seen that
not
in
everyone
my
gets
life
to be
ever.
unless for
Ever.
Legends of Aetherius.
Ever.
Don't hurt yourself.
Coming up next, Shiny and Sounds. Ven, how did it tantalize your ears and eyes?
Well, let's just take a look at some glorious video that we have available to us. And, yeah, that's pretty much...
And we're taken down from YouTube.
Right. What it looks like. No more, no less. Shiny and sounds. If it has sounds, they are most definitely unmemorable. I know they're there. I remember faint hints of noises, but Nothing that really impressed me, and apparently you can duck. That's a neat feature. The textures, take a look with your eye organs. They're there. They're things, but nothing extraordinary at all.
Extraordinary.
Extraordinary, this is not
Extraordinary.
one chair, because that's what it deserves.
I disagree. One chair would mean, like, the graphics were completely fucked.
You couldn't see anything. Textures would be freaking out. VSync issues.
Yeah, that's in my opinion, that's what one chair on Shiny and Sounds means. That it's like visual and auditory static. But this one actually had, working graphics. They're not particularly good graphics. The stupid commercials you have to sit through in the game are annoying. So, yeah, that's a thing. So, on account of it actually has functional graphics and functional sound, that's really just meh 2 chairs.
Yeah,
and the lone dissenter.
I'm gonna go out on a limb
matter.
here and give it 3 chairs because the only complaint I have about it is that the sentinels, that siren sound that they make, it gets really annoying really fast. And there are some levels that you get like 3 or 4 sentinels, and god fucking damn it, 3 chairs.
Yeah, this game is also really loud when you start it up too. But yeah. So that's 2 chairs for Shiny and Sounds. Control, then. That's an oddly high number of chairs you have there.
Yes.
Well, it's not a polar vortex. It's the polar opposite of the Shiny and Sounds because, controls, they work. I don't have an issue with them. You use your wireless, juggle your keyboard, all that, up, down, left, right, boom, 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 run, eat. Fine with it. Couldn't find any flaws. Didn't find myself going, oh, you should be eating now when you're not. So, with that, 4 chairs is what I'll give it.
I don't know. The controls, again, are nothing particularly special. They work. I don't think they're the best controls. It would be nice if this thing had like controller support.
Yeah.
That might help a little bit. And also the camera can go a bit crazy. It's a bit oversensitive. And that can screw you over. And holding down space and W is a bit, a Counter-Strike leapy thing. They really should have bound eat to another button, like the left click button, and maybe have another way to discard items. So I'll give that 2 chairs for Control because it's meh. Nothing great, nothing terrible either.
Yeah,
Amen.
I'm going to have to agree with Jordan, and the fact that the camera likes to flip out every now and again, especially when things get hairy, it's not doing the game any favors. 2 chairs.
So that's 2 chairs for Controls. And now, here comes the fun part, literally. Ben, did you have fun playing this game?
Did I have fun playing Not the Robots? No. I didn't hate myself. I didn't want to go play in traffic, oddly enough, but I derived no enjoyment from this. With the fun part, it's supposed to be a stealth game. Right. So, I did the stealthy thing, I was dodging, eating furniture. Then I got bored and realized that you can just run around mindlessly and just nom everything and screech your little self back to the tube. Boom, you're done. So many levels can be accomplished by doing nothing more than that. And you might notice it is procedurally generated, which means no level design. So that can also be played into some aspects. I'm going to say about that business, but for fun, save your money on this one. 1 chair.
Yeah, this game kind of sucks. I've tried the challenges. They weren't particularly fun. I tried the campaign. I got bored after about 10 minutes. This game just doesn't really do it for me. 1 chair.
Yeah. The game is boring. There's really nothing anyone else can say. It's boring. Why? How do you make a stealth roguelike-ish randomly generated levels game so boring? One chair.
So that's one chair for fun. And because they got some marginally decent scores and makes with the working and control, this becomes a 2-chair game for the final overall score. What does that mean? It might be your dice. It certainly wasn't ours. So that's 2 chairs with an asteroid asterisk.
Whatever
Asteroid.
its name is, I keep forgetting.
Whatever that thing is. But yeah, how much does this game retail for again? Too much.
That's about the price where you go, no, it's a bit steep.
Maybe $3 might have been worth it.
Right. I'm thinking more like maybe
5 would be stretching it.
An app purchase, like $1.99, something like that. And then again, when I see something like this, I would have a completely different opinion if it was, on my Android device. To play something like that, it'd be a fun little pickup time killer. But this is definitely
that might be interesting if you drag your little robot around. I can see that.
Yeah.
Right. So, any extra thoughts? Sleepy Sweet and
yeah, I saw Total Biscuit's WTF is on this game, and I thought, this looks interesting, and it's on Linux. And he was actually cautiously positive about the game, and so I figured, let's give this a go. It's boring, man. It's really boring.
Boring! Coming up next, some not boring hate mail for your face, live on air.
And we've finally arrived at your segment of the week. It's that point where we stop screaming in your direction and we read what you scrimped in ours.
That's crazy.
So let's scramped. Let's just do a little reminder of that if you're trying to promote your IndieGoGo, your Steam Greenlight, your Kickstarter, your anything campaign, just make sure you provide us with a playable Linux demo. If you just want to give us some feedback, just, go to that mystical contact page, just push the contact button on our nav bar, fill out your name, your email, give us a subject, a message, and you're good to go. Oh, you have to prove you're smarter than a bot. So someone apparently screamed in our direction about a little client that we've been discussing for a good long while now.
Yeah, Strider screamed in your face, Organ, more directly. He says, Lutra Z 3.3 has been released. He says, hi there, LGC crew, because that's how he talks. I'm happy to announce
He's French.
Well, hi there, LGC crew, because that's how he talks. I'm happy to announce that the open source game platform Lutris will see a new release. Couple of changes for the Amiga, DOSBox, better X-Run support. Showed dialogue while trying to install games. No script, that's decent. On the next release, focus more on bringing new officially supported runners such as, for emulators PC, SXR, Virtual Jaguar, get a jug. Atari and Desura. P.S. Pedro, you filthy, nasty wait, no, I'm reading the one he sent me.
Wrong email, Van.
No.
Wrong email.
Doom 3 installer you wanted is ready, but the download Windows game on Linux Steam hack doesn't fetch the CD key, so that's an annoying issue. Moofers. Also, I know you like Silent Hill 2, and I'm trying to provide good support for this game. It runs stupidly well on Wine. Even the rumble makes with it. So what do you got to say about that? Are you happy, excited, cheering?
I actually am kind of happy. One of the problems I had with Lutris was that certain games full screened into both my monitors, and there were a couple of them that actually shut down one of my monitors and ran just on one. But about the Doom 3 thing, there's a file in the Doom 3 folder that's called Doom Key, and it contains the
Key.
the CD key.
Doom
Yeah.
key.
So you
Shock and
can
awe.
technically
I wouldn't have seen that coming.
you can technically just cat the key from that file. Just add that to your script. It should work. And about Silent Hill 2,
you should use dog.
Silent Hill 2 was awesome. And I know it works stupidly well in the Rewind, mostly because it is an OpenGL game. It's been OpenGL. It used to work on the PS2, and even the PC version was just a really bad port.
So, I still haven't had a chance to play with Lutris. Have you rubbed it against your genitalia?
Not the latest version, no. I'm actually interested for the next release because emulator support would be really, really nice. I'd probably use that as a console for launching emulate.
And if
I
you don't have
I
to
like how
fuck
he's kind of
around
ripping off the Steam website on his own website.
Well, it's Le Lutris. It's Le Steve.
Le Lutris.
So,
Less
And if you
Steam.
don't have to deal with the Sura to actually get the games from the Sura, that's a plus for me.
so
Indeed. So, time for some YOLO swag money.
Bram Stoker.
YOLO swag.
YOLO swag money. Bram Stolk says, "Hello, I published my Linux game 6 Wheels and a Gun.
Good on
It's
you.
an online multiplayer tank sim with single player levels as well. Maybe it's something worth checking out for you guys. Let me know if there's anything you need to know more about it. Yes, I am happy to be of assistance." Well, this is a tank simulator game. I spent all of 3 minutes playing it, and it looks like a tank simulator game. That's really all I can say. You drive around and you shoot things
Well, yeah, all that
With
swag,
6 wheels.
man.
with 6 wheels and a gun.
Swag! BZ Flag on a Budget Simulator 2014. Who knows? P-Man, I heard you had an issue or two with it.
Yeah, so I was trying to run the game on my calculator, and the game is pretty small. It doesn't have a lot of system requirements, so using the
obviously your
open source
computer can't play
drivers,
it.
I could get the game running at a constant 60 frames per second, go VSync. But that had a teeny tiny issue in that it made the game run at twice its speed. And the physics, both the game speed and the physics, are tied to the frame rate. So not only was the game 2 times as fast, you jumped twice as high, you fell twice as fast. It was amazing. So I sent him an email back, and then he finally figured out what was causing it. And apparently it's been fixed in version 1.5. You can find it on their website, which there'll be a link for in the description.
Brilliant.
But it's time for Solar Flux. No, I'm sorry, Solar Flux.
Flux.
Solar Flux. This one's at Pedro again. He says our latest game, Solar Flux. Flux, was recently released on Steam for Linux. We're looking to see if you would be interested in getting some more information on it, including a download code for Steam, with a view to reviewing it on Linux GameCast. Sentence. Solar Flux is a sci-fi puzzle game which uses thrust mechanics, giggity, similar to Asteroid for movement. Unlike similar games of this type, your objective is to save suns by utilizing different plasma types, whilst watching your fuel, shields, and time to ensure that you can complete the mission on Aachen. I'd like to point out that this game is also available for tablets on mobiles for both iOS and Android. However, the mobile phone version, Solar Flux Pocket, has entirely different levels and a different setup to account for the smaller screen size. Just letting you know in case you mentioned the other versions on your podcast. So, Solar Flux. Pedro, did you take a look at it? Or you
I
talk to
did
these
take
guys
a
at
look
all?
at it, and it is definitely a thing.
It certainly looks like asteroids.
This has the same physics of, I can't remember the name of the game. I don't think it really had a name, but it was about mushrooms where you were flying around in space and collecting them. Same physics as that.
I think that was Friday night.
Solar 2?
9. This is an open source game for somewhere. I'm
Oh.
sure it's in the B-Real archives from billions of years ago.
Hmm.
But $10, you know, I futzed with it for a few minutes myself. Didn't spend a whole lot of time with it. I get it. It's like Osmos with pew, 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 maybe? Yeah.
Yes, it puts me more along the mindset of Solar 2. Maybe it's the aesthetics that make my brain think like that, but yeah, it looks a bit like Solar 2 mixed with asteroids, and the whole strategy thing about containing the stars and all that. You know, he did send us 3 keys, so we may throw the chairs at it.
You never know, stranger things have happened. But that's going to wrap it up for the hate mail. As always, if you want to scream in our direction, do what the P-Man says. No, not that thing. The other thing that's legal.
No, not that thing. The other thing.
Oh, right, that other one. It's been banned in most countries. But scream at that contact button, fill it out, let us know what's going on, or if you want to drop into Chat Realm. Static. We're in there the other 6 days of the week. For that business, you can always find us at LinuxGameCast.com with a podcast and all that fun business. Kick us some wet sticky if you got some laying around. We use that, goes directly back into the show. But since it's so quiet, let's cue that music and tell the lovely, beautiful people who we are, because I am Vin Stone. Cleverly disguised at Vin Stone plus Vin Stone on the G pluses. J-Man.
I am Jordan Svung. You can find me at The Burning Pool on Twitter, or plus Jordan Svung on Google Plus, or Herman McNipple Pinchers on FetLife.
All right, that's new.
Second Life profiles.
I'm Pedro Mateus. You can find me at Unaccounted4 on Twitter, or plus Pedro Mateus on Google Plus. And if you're on Steam, it's steamcommunity.com/ID/unaccounted4. It's easy.
So, yeah, not really.
Not really. Left to do. I'm just going to quietly bounce at the lovely people and say Xbox is the best thing in the world, long as the check clears. He rocks.
If you believe a Jew, you are super crazy.
Says the Jew.
Yes.
Nope.